Okay, we're going to solve a 3 by 3 using Cramer's rule, which uses the idea of a determinant. A little more complex here, but eventually I'm going to be able to break this down. I'm going to find my standard determinant, we'll call it D, and then I'm going to find my X, Y, and Z. And I've kind of put some formats in here, but hopefully we'll make this pretty quick to work with. If you recall, when you're finding a determinant, it doesn't matter which row, column, whatever you want to do. You know what? I'm going to go with what's probably going to be the easiest here. I'm going to pick this one. Why not, right? Timesing by 1 doesn't change anything. It's going to make my math super easy to work with. And that's kind of the freedom behind working with Cramer's rule. Now, if you recall, though, that if I do pick whatever row or column, I need to match it with the cofactors. So I actually have plus, minus, plus. And then I can start working with finding my little pieces. So first one here is going to be the first row, first column. And that's going to leave me with my 4, 3, 5, 1. All right, then we're going to move over to our middle one here, which is the middle row, last column. I think the hardest part is just the setup. Once you get these in place, and why not do them all to begin with? Don't try to solve as you go along the way. Get it all written up, and then you can do that all in one shot. Okay, the last one here is those two, leaving me with the box 3, 2, 4, 3. Okay, so now I can go ahead and work with my multiplication. I'm going to, of course, subtract my values, so I put that in for caution's sake. 4 times 1, 5 times 3. I'm not worried about the 1 here on this one because it's not going to change, but I'm going to get a negative 11. This one here, I do need to make sure I put that negative through, so I'll keep that negative 1 on the outside. So I have 3 times 1, 5 times 2. That's going to give me a negative 7, but times by a negative 1 gives me a positive 7. And the last one here, 3 times 3, 4 times 2, gives me a positive 1. So if I go ahead and sum those up, I have a negative 4 plus 1 is a negative 3. All right, so now as we kind of set and go into these next stages, keep in mind here that my D value is 3, so I'm going to put that on a negative 3 under the denominator for all of my answer boxes here. Okay, the other thing I've kind of made it set up so it's a little bit faster to work with. This is, we're going to find X. So I'm going to take this 459 here. Let's make that a little more visible for ourselves. That 459, I'm going to put it into my X here. If I'm solving for Y, I'm going to put him into my Y. If I'm solving for Z, I'll put them into my Z that way. So I'm going to go ahead and shove all those in there just to get us started. So I'm going to put that 4, 5, 9, 4, 5, 9, 4, 5, 9. Okay, so I am set, ready to go. And it doesn't really matter which one you decide to pick again, but my general rule is I put this 459 in, so I'm going to use him. And it just allows me to keep focusing on the same thing. Again, and I've got all of them set up to place, so I can just run through them really fast. So I'm going to do 4, 5, 9 for all of my front values here. Okay, in this position, that's in that first column. So I have positive, negative, positive. Now it's in the middle column, so negative, positive, negative. And my last column, positive, negative, positive. So if I try to think about it in terms of steps, then you want to substitute You want to get that value you're going to work with, find your coefficient, and then look for your signs. And then you can go ahead and do your little cross to find the box. Okay, so we've substituted it in, we've got the coefficient, we've got the sign, so now we need to work with the box here. So for the 4, I'm going to be left with 3, 1, 1, 1. I apologize for the time it takes, but this is so much easier if you can see it clearly. All right, and then let's go ahead and mark the next one. So 5. So I think of it just crossing off the 5 twice, and that will help you to see that it's gone completely that way. And I have 2, 1, 1, 1. And then my last one here, I'm going to work with my 9. So I'll cross off the 9 twice, and I'm left with that 2, 1, 3, 1. All right, so we're going to take a break from writing those in there. Go ahead and find out what x is. Again, put your subtraction in so you don't mess them up. So 3 and 1, and that's just 4 times 2, so I get an 8. Negative 5, 2, 1, which is negative 5 times 1, negative 5. 9, 2, 3. It's kind of nice. You can just kind of just fill things in. The math comes pretty quickly that way. So I'm going to have a 3 minus 9 is a negative 6. So my x is 2. All right, let's keep it going. We're on a roll here. Let's go ahead and find out about our next set. So here's my 4 again. This is the 4 up top here. Sometimes it's easy we just grab any 4. So I'm going to cancel out him twice. And I'm left with 4, 1, 5, 1. And then clean it up. And you have to kind of find your own style when you're doing this because, you know, it's fingers. There's a lot of fingers going on with matrices, that's for sure. But if you have your setup in place, so you're just filling things in, it makes it really quick to work with on that. All right, and then the last guy here, that 9 gets crossed off twice, and I have 3, 1, 4, 1. All right, let's give it a shot. See what we got here. Minus, minus, minus. Negative 4, 4, and a 5. So negative 4 times a negative 1 is a positive 4. 5 on the outside, then 3, 5. See how easy that is if it's already in place for me? So 5 times a negative 2 is a negative 10. And then my negative 9, 3 and 4, negative 9 times a negative 1 is a positive 9. So 4, that's negative 6 plus 9 is 3, giving me the value of a negative 1. And we are nearly there. All right, so the last one here, I'm working on this last column, cancel out my 4s, and plug in that little 2 by 2. And let's clean that up. And let's cancel out my 5. And I have 3, 2, 5. It really helps to see it gone. Then the other ones just pop up so nicely that way. And then last, can't believe we're right at the end here that way. My 9 is going to give me that 3, 2, 4, 3. Biggest mistake we make with determinants really comes down to the fact that we just copy wrong. So don't rush it. That'd be my advice for you. Okay, so positive 4, 4 and 15, so 4 times a negative 11, negative 44. And negative 5, 3 and 10, so negative 5 times a negative 7, which is a positive 35. Positive 9, 3, 8, 9 times 1, which is 9. And you kind of go about it whatever way works for you, but 35 plus 9 is 44, minus 44 ends up with a 0. And this is totally okay, because if I divide 0 by negative 3, I can still get a 0. It's the very on the bottom that I can't have. Final answer then, putting in order, is 2, negative 1, 0. And again, you can always check that. And you know me, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I do. So I'm going to put that into the first guy just to double check. I'll put him right here so that you can see him. So I'm going to do 3 times 2 plus 2 times a negative 1 plus 0 should equal 4. Well, I have 6 minus 2 equals 4. Check. I can confidently go into that. Of course, if I'm being a little OCD and 100% on the test, I will do all 3 equations just to double check. So it's cool. It's got a little bit kind of warped sense, trying to do things, crossing things off, finding a pencil, extra set of pencils, whatever it works with that way. Slow and steady, and that is how you can use Cramer's to find a 3x3 solution.